Hey guys, welcome to my first official video. I posted a speed paint of Michael Albarn a couple months ago at this point, but I've since kind of leveled up my video creating skills, and so I did take the video down, but I'm probably going to re-upload it with new editing, including this PNG tuber I have. I made it a long time ago, back in my IBIS paint days, but it still holds up and it looks good enough. So I figured I would just use it until I have a chance to make a new one, which fits the vibe of my channel more. But all that aside, today I have prepared appropriately spooky art for the Halloween season. I've drawn me and my friend as Monster High-esque Halloween monsters. We spent a good 45 minutes discussing and brainstorming the details of these characters and their lore, and that was after I had finished the art. So if anything seems haphazard about their stories and the way they fit together as a duo, that's probably because it is, but I'm not a writer, I'm an artist, so I don't have to hold myself to high standards. Anyways, let's begin with my character, who I've named
If I were a zombie, I'd never eat your brain.
Y'all like that little bumper I did? I feel like that really just ate, but we can gloss over that. I drew myself as a zombie. When I decided to make this video and I was like, I want to draw myself as a monster for Halloween, zombie was pretty much the immediate choice. I don't know what that says about my self-image, but the art came out good, so I'm not complaining. So me and the friend that I drew in this video were talking about these characters and their lore, and somewhere along the way we just agreed that these characters are going to be Monster High OCs, and they didn't start out that way. At first it was just like, let's draw ourselves as monsters, or let me draw both of us as monsters, because I guess I'm pulling the weight around here or whatever. But anyways, my OC, who I've named Brian Brains, is a zombie, but he wasn't always a zombie. He lived in a small town before he was turned and eventually enrolled in Monster High. He was more of a loner and he liked to keep to himself, but he did like to go outside at night, anytime between sunset and like midnight, pitch black outside, and just wander around the woods or ride his bike while listening to music and things like that. And that's actually something that I do in real life, just go outside at night and wander while listening to music. I don't know, living in the suburbs has kind of removed my sense of danger when it comes to that stuff. But back to Brian. One of those days while he was exploring the woods at dusk, as one does, he probably went out further than he should have been and he ever had before. He found an abandoned cemetery. Being a thrill seeker, or maybe just lacking a sense of self-preservation, he explored the damp and spooky cemetery. He went around reading tombstones and noting that all the people here lived at least 100 years ago. The cemetery was basically ancient. And then he saw the mausoleum. He stepped inside, seeing a fancy gilded urn on a pedestal with wilted flowers around it. He walked up to it and slowly opened the lid, and a puff of smoke blasted out and engulfed him in either magic or fungal or viral mist. Whatever it was, it made him a zombie. After the whole cemetery ordeal, he ran home, not knowing that he had been turned into a monster. He didn't know what it was, but he started feeling the sort of sluggishness that I imagine comes with being a zombie, as well as starting to look a bit undead. But his family and the people around him just thought he was sick or something. And you know, in a black family, the only thing keeping you from going to school is a traumatic brain injury, a broken bone, or a deadly virus. So under the impression that he was just regular sick, he went to school the next day. And at this point, you might be wondering, well, if he was turned into a zombie by inhaling some sort of weird dust, why does he have a bite mark? And I'm gonna tell you right now. Now, this is where his gimmick comes in, y'all. You gotta stick with me. So being turned into a zombie made him really sluggish and slow, maybe a bit clumsy, and like made his memory worse, etc. But whenever he sees someone really hot, he turns into a fast zombie and chases them down and tries to eat them. So when he went to school and saw his crush or whatever, he chased him down and attacked him. But there's yet another twist. When he pounced on his crush, the crush decided he wasn't going down without a fight. So he bit Brian on the arm, which snapped him out of his trance-like crazy state. So yeah, a zombie who got bit by a human. You can hold your applause, I know I'm the most creative person ever to live. And then Brian realized, oh, maybe there is something wrong with me, and maybe it was caused when I inhaled cemetery dust. Anyways, he went home after this whole ordeal, and I say ordeal too much. Anyway, he went home after this whole situation, and he explained to his family like, hey guys, I think I turned myself into a zombie on accident. They were like, so what's gonna happen is we're gonna send you away to this boarding school called Monster High, and we never wanna see you again. And they did. Because I guess the only thing worse than a zombie is a gay zombie. But anyways, that was okay because Monster High is where he met his best friend.
Must be the season of the witch.
Willow Wicca is my friend Natalia, aka Nate's character. So Nate chose a witch as the kind of monster that she would be, but not really a broom riding, hat wearing, double toil and trouble kind of witch. It's more of a spirituality, crystals, and like vibrational alignment kind of witch. So basically just a modern witch, like she definitely charges her crystals under the moonlight. Anyways, Willow lives with her mom and her dog, Daisy, just like the person she was based off of, Nate. And she was living a normal life, going to normal school, having normal crushes on normal boys, until one day her crush at the time found out that she had a crush on him, and so he asked her out. And she was really excited because her crush, which is, a super cute boy, asked her out and, reciprocated feelings or whatever. And they were probably going steady for a good 2.5 days until eventually he came to her and was like, Willow, I have something to tell you. And then he pulled her aside, maybe into like an empty classroom or something. And then he told her that he was only with her as a joke and he would have never actually liked someone like her. And at this point, he's laughing and his friends are running out from behind tables and whatever the hell they were hiding behind. And they're all recording and laughing at her. And she is just absolutely humiliated. So Willow ditched school, ran home, and decided that she was going to hex this boy. So she grabbed her lemon and her seasonings and also her boiling rage, put it into a spell, and sent it off, hexing the boy to look as ugly as he was on the inside on the outside, turning him into a fucking uggo. Please note that when we were first thinking of what the hex that she would do on him would be, I was like, we should make her hex him so that his wiener shrivels up and falls off. And she was like, no, she should hex him so that he can never make an emotional connection ever again. And I was like, how would she even know that it worked? And she was like, why would his wiener fall off? Anyway, we just met somewhere in the vast middle between your wiener falling off and never being able to make an emotional connection ever again, and decided to make him ugly. Cause that's simple and classic. Anyways, after hexing that bastard that wronged her, she went to sleep and woke up to go to school the next day. And as soon as she stepped in the doors, people were looking at her funny, as if they knew what happened. She heard from a friend. Her friend told her that Josh, that's what I'm naming the boy, just came up with it right now, didn't come to school because his face was all messed up and he looked like a monster. Now, the working theory amongst the school was that Josh had contracted a disease or had an allergic reaction or something, and that was why he looked so gross. But Willow, knowing the hex she had done, in her head was like, oh shit, I have fucking magical powers. And she had always been on the witchy side and was into manifesting and crystals and the like, but she had never expected to actually have her hex come true, especially in such a big way, turning a regular human into a grotesque creature. So she suffered through the rest of the school day, definitely not paying attention to any of her classes as she was dealing with some crazy mixed emotions after ruining Josh's life by making him hideous, even though he kind of deserved it. So she kind of stews in her own emotions for the rest of the day until she goes to sleep that night. She went to sleep and had a crazy vivid dream in which an old woman claiming to be her ancestor came to her and explained that every other generation of girls in their family was born with magic powers, which explains why her mom didn't seem to have magic, but she did. So the woman explains to Willow that she's communicating to her from the spiritual plane because she is very dead at this point. She was probably killed in the Salem witch trials or something. Let me not get off track. She explains that strong emotions can awaken magical abilities, which is what happened to Willow. But she also says that no hatred or anger put out into the universe goes unpunished. And she warns her that she will receive repercussions or karma threefold for hexing Josh. She also tells Willow about a place called Monster High where she can go to be around other people who are like her, you know, special, and that they can teach her how to use her magic properly there. So Willow wakes up from that crazy trip of a dream and feels fine. She isn't noticing anything that she thinks might be her karma coming back to get her. But when she walks out of her room, she sees her dog, Daisy, engulfed in an evil-looking aura. Her karma manifested in her beloved dog being turned into a hellhound, which basically means that anyone who lays eyes upon the dog will be cursed to die an untimely death, including Willow. But at that moment, she got another vision from her ancestor. She instructed Willow on how to safely seal the curse that was put on her dog. Now Daisy looks pretty much normal besides the fact that her collar is bound by a magic lock, which holds the evil magical curse back. So Daisy can continue to be a normal dog, although she is a lot bigger than she was originally. So after the slightly traumatizing ordeal that the past couple of days had been for Willow, she realized just how dangerous magic could be and decided to listen to her ancestor and go to Monster High where she could learn to practice it safely. But in the meantime, she still cooks up plenty of harmless charms and love spells for the targets of her affection, though she does stay away from men now. And that is all for their individual stories. Now let's get into how they met. I think Brian was at Monster High first, and when he heard Willow, a witch, was enrolled, he went to her and asked her to use her magic to cure his zombification. Then Willow was like, nah man, I can't bring you back from the dead. I mostly just do like love spells and stuff. So Brian was disappointed, but also kind of intrigued. You gotta close the door to open a window. They eventually bonded over the way they both love, yet haven't had a lot of luck with it. So to reiterate, they bonded over both being Rizless freaks. Maybe Brian and Willow make like a club where they just talk about their current crushes to each other and like they play Cupid and stuff with her little love charms and whatever. Also, only after we created these characters did I realize that their dynamic is almost the exact same setup of that TikTok Monster High doll parody thing. And listen.
Oh, hey Zeus. You ready to
I thought I told you to call me when you're ready to leave the bathroom.
Zeus?
You need to start listening to me. How am I supposed to protect you if I don't know your every move? Huh?
Zeus, you're hurting me.
Stop moving.
My arm, Zeus.
I hurt you.
It's okay. It's just a little bruise.
I hurt you.
Oh my God, Zeus, stop. Maybe I should have the spell reversed.
And that's all I'm going to say about that. But anyways, this brings us to the end of the video. I do have a bit of bonus art of Willow and Brian, which I'm going to be putting up on the screen right now. But besides that, thanks for watching if you made it this far. If you would like to see more of my art, my socials are linked in the description. And if you have any questions about the characters, feel free to ask them in the comments. Alright, that's all for today. Happy Halloween, and I'll see you all next time. Bye! Oh wait, I'm getting a message from Nate.
I don't want to say that. That's cringy. Like, hey, what do you want me to say again? Don't forget to like and subscribe. That's so fucking crazy.